Hey team, happy Friday. It's been a week, right? But here we are with two things to introduce to you today. The first thing I want to introduce you to is this bearded, shirtless man here, Seneca the Younger. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher. The second thing I want to introduce you to today is Seneca's book, Letters from a Stoic. Notice that the one thing we're not going to talk about today is what Stoicism is. On Monday, we will begin some comprehensive notes on the nuts and bolts of Stoic philosophy, but I wanted to give you the weekend to chew on some of Seneca's words before we get into the nitty-gritty of the philosophy itself. Back to Seneca here. He was a super interesting dude, and he was multi-talented. He was a playwright. He was a political advisor. He was a financial advisor. And foremost, he was a philosopher. Most people hope to be good at one, maybe two things in life. This guy just so happened to be good at a lot of different things. Let's talk about a few of the interesting aspects of his life. First, his exile. Seneca actually gets kicked out of Rome by the Emperor Claudius. Allegedly, according to Claudius, Seneca committed adultery. Most people, after the fact, suggested that Seneca was innocent. Nevertheless, the consequence that Seneca faced for this alleged adultery was to be exiled from Rome. He got kicked out. Claudius exiled him to the island of Corsica for 7 years. Flash forward 7 years, the new emperor, Nero, invited Seneca to come back. Why did he invite Seneca to come back? Because his mother told him to. Yes, children, listen to your mothers. So Nero invites Seneca to come back. Not only that, but he makes Seneca like his chief advisor. Seneca becomes the Nero whisperer. Seneca doling out advice, speaking into his ear and hoping that Nero will listen. But here's the problem. Over time, Seneca realized that Nero was a terrible person, was just like a super corrupt, bad dude. So this ran in conflict with Nero's values and his beliefs, his philosophy. And so what was Seneca to do? Well, I'll tell you what he did. Seneca became, or allegedly became, part of a plot to kill and assassinate Nero. Sheesh. What does this sound like? Julius Caesar, anybody? So everybody's going around whispering like, this dude Nero is bad, this dude needs to die. And Seneca becomes enlisted sort of in this conspiracy to take Nero's life. Now, unlike the play Caesar, the conspiracy gets found out before Nero's life can be taken, and Seneca is faced with a choice. I don't know if you remember in Act 4 of Julius Caesar, when Cassius says to Brutus, if it comes to it, are you going to surrender or take your own life? This was the conversation that they had. Seneca was having a similar conversation with himself. And what did Seneca decide to do? He decided on the noble suicide route. He peacefully and calmly took his own life rather than face down Nero. So kind of a tumultuous life. Here's what's interesting. You got this guy who's a political advisor to the most powerful man in the world. Seneca is also super filthy rich, yet over time he's become this philosopher that has become part of this group of people who are teaching us how to live well, how to live a good life. I don't know what to do with that. In any event, he became one of the foremost Stoic philosophers, and his works endure today. Letters from a Young Stoic is exactly what it sounds like. He's writing letters to a young man named Lucilius. And in these letters, he's trying to explain to Lucilius how to live a good life, specifically how to live a Stoic life. So the topics of this book are wide-ranging: grief, death, slavery, money and wealth, happiness, education. Seneca covers a whole bunch of topics about how we should live. So over the course of this weekend, you are going to start Letters from a Stoic, and you will be asked to answer a few questions in response. And as I said previously, on Monday, we will come back with some specific notes on what Stoicism as a philosophy is. Proud of you guys. Hang in there.